Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Onyx Path, where we are playing Vampire of the Dark Ages 20th Anniversary Edition, A Bloody Revolt Part 2. We are picking up from our story from last week, where the assembled were requested by the Prince of, or the Voivode, I guess I should say, let me look up the town that you were in originally, or that you'd been summoned to.
It was
Bistritz.
Brussels.
Thank you, Bistritz. It was not Brussels, but good guess.
I wrote that down actually.
No, you didn't. I don't know why, but thanks.
Faulty.
Thanks for making me look silly in front of the whole internet. Yes, the Prince of Bistritz had pulled you together and asked you to remove this pesky Tremere this pesky Ventru who had claimed Princess of Brasov and had let those darn Tremere set up shop in the city. It pulled you together, gave you a couple of war ghouls that you could take that you could use as you so chose, Zeus and Apollo. I believe, if I remember correctly, Irina had built a bit of a relationship with Apollo. Yes, was that the one that you had started to enjoy the company of? And
Yeah.
Your attempt to roll into town sneakily was undone largely by your own antics. And rather than let the gargoyle that you noticed go back and report your presence, you just flat out went all out violence. You chose violence, and that's where we are.
I chose violence. Let's be real. I chose.
I don't think there's any other choice we can make.
Friends.
There are always choices you can make. Just a quick reminder for everyone who's watching, the reason for the season, the occasion for which we are streaming is because right now they're at Indie Press Revolution. We do have a sale going on, the Dog Days of Summer sale. We've got several Onyx Path products are 40% off in the traditional printing format. There's also the deluxe versions. In particular, the Dark Ages 20th Anniversary Edition deluxe book is on sale. The quantity is limited, so if you have not yet done so, head over there. Link is in the chat. Pick up a copy of the Dark Ages Deluxe. It's got a beautiful leatherette cover with a Ankh embossed on the front of it. It's a very, very pretty book, and it's a lot of fun, as we're about to display for you. So you all had gotten into a scrap, and because every once in a while I misplace a note, I don't have the initiative together. So because we'll write it off as the wave of dementation that was released at the end of last game, with I believe 3 Malkavians all were using dementation in the same turn. We'll go ahead and redo our initiatives. So by all means, if you would, please, each of you roll a d10 and add it to the sum of your, if I'm not mistaken, it's Dex, Wits, and Celerity, but I will double, triple check that right now. As I'm doing that, does anyone have any questions about where we parked or?
Who's dead?
No one is. Well, no. One of the gargoyles is dead.
And how many other enemies are there?
I thought both gargoyles were dead. Where only the one died and then the other one was shot down.
The one had been staked, but when the prince came out, the prince pulled the stake out of the gargoyle's chest, and that gargoyle has lunged toward the La Sombra,
who then lunged under him through the shadows to the prince.
Right. So that gargoyle is still up and moving. And I believe your arms fell out when you...
Yeah, the arms beat the gargoyle down, and then I stepped through the shadows, and the arms went away.
And yes, it is in fact your dexterity plus wits plus celerity. So
13.
By all means, please make those rolls. And feel free to announce to me what your initiative is, but also if you could type it in the Zoom chat, that will make all of our lives a little bit easier. It's a nice way to track it. As long as you don't have to try to, remember it the next day. Okay. Excellent. So we have got Luca going on a 14. We've got Lipa going on a 13. We have Darvula going on a 9, as well as Arena. And we've got Lucian going on a 13. And everybody else goes on an 11. So the first action will go to Luca. What would you like to do to paint the scene? You sort of posted up on the city wall. Apollo has now broken down a chunk of that city wall. Near where the city wall has fallen in, you have this Tremere. Standing probably about 20 feet behind the Tremere is the Prince and Lucian. Maybe 10, 15 feet in front of them is this Tremere. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the rest of you were all just outside the city wall otherwise, correct? Like standing in the outside part where it had been broken in?
I was, but then I spent several of my turns closing the distance.
I know you had closed the distance to that gaping hole, but you hadn't actually entered the city. Is that correct? Or are you standing, or have you now stepped into the city wall? I thought you were like firing through the hole.
I got close enough to the Prince to try and use Dominate on her.
Okay, so you're right up there mixing it up with the Prince as well. That's correct. Okay, so that's kind of our layout. So what would Luca like to do? You're seeing now like the boiling rage in the mind of the Prince.
Well, good, because fire voice.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah, I do too.
I think that's a great plan that couldn't possibly backfire on you.
I don't think so either. What did I roll again?
So for fire voice, you would need to roll your manipulation plus empathy.
Manipulation, empathy. Okay. Okay.
And remember, once you kick it off, you have to talk for 3 turns to use that.
Mm-hmm.
You may do other things while you're speaking, but you have to keep that talking going.
3 6s, a 9, and a 10.
All right, so that's just 1 success. Do you have a specialty in manipulation or empathy?
No, 3 6s,
Yeah,
a 9 and a 10. That's 6.
Fire voice is difficulty 7.
Oh, is it? Okay, what did you say?
So how does that work exactly? What does that mean?
The difficulty is your target number in 20th anniversary edition.
But isn't a 10?
A 10 counts as 2 successes if you have a specialty.
And he has dementation. He has enough dementation for a specialty. But that's still only 6.
I don't know how it works. I'm just going to go with whatever you say, Travis.
No, he rolls his manipulation empathy. He got 110, right?
Yeah, but he got 3 6s.
It's difficulty 7. Oh, you got a 9 as well. So it's 2 successes.
Whatever.
Yes, the difficulty is the target number you need to hit on the dice.
So 3, because 10 is.
Okay, I think I get it. I think I get it. Okay.
Yep. Right. If he has a specialty.
And he does, because I do in dementation too.
Right.
So that's 2. So that's 3 successes.
So 3 successes.
I understand now.
Yeah. Okay. The actual dice number. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your target number if you're accustomed to playing, like for example, Story Path, it's referred to as target number, but in 20th anniversary edition, it is referred to as your difficulty.
Okay. So what was the case then?
So you got 3 successes. So that gives you have to speak for 3 turns, but you can select 3 targets. At the end of those 3 turns, those 3 targets will need to make a Rotschreck test. And they will be at +4 difficulty because they're at +2 difficulty because of Fire Voice, an additional +2 difficulty because you already hit them with the humor, the igneous humor or whatever it's called.
Incubus humor.
Incubus humor, thank you.
Okay. Then I will target I guess the Tremere and the Prince, right? And whoever else.
The Tremere, the Prince, and the Gargoyle. That's
Prince.
3. Because there is still 1 gargoyle up.
Go to the gargoyle.
All right. Excellent. That brings us to a tie between Lipa and Lucian. Do either of you care which one of you goes first?
No. Do you want to rock, paper, scissors?
Well, just in order of chat, we'll have Lucian go then if it doesn't matter to either of you.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to stake the prince with this spear.
Excellent. Go ahead and make a...
Oh, I'm going to spend... before I do that, I'm going to spend 4 blood on raising my physical stats. Put 3 more points into strength. And 2 into stamina.
All right.
Or 1 into stamina.
And where does that put your totals at?
Strength of 7 with potence 1. Dex of 7. Stam of 6.
Excellent. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you are 7th generation, correct?
Correct. Blood lets you go 1 above your normal generational maximum.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Give me a strength and melee.
It's difficulty 9 for stake, right? I was looking this up. It was under the special maneuvers around 349, somewhere around in that section.
Yeah, I'm just double checking how it runs in this edition because I want to make sure that we're doing it right.
Thank you. I want to make sure we're doing it right too.
Our pool is actually dexterity melee, and yeah, your difficulty is going to be whatever the weapon is listed as, basically. So you're using a halberd?
Spear. Yeah.
Spear. Okay, so that's normally a 6, yes. So your difficulty is 8.
That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
All right. They are going to try to get the entire hell out of your way because they're not interested in
having a spear through the heart.
Right, and being a pin cushion. They would prefer to avoid that. So you do need to either spend willpower or make a courage roll.
Okay.
To be able to stay.
I'll spend a willpower then.
Excellent. A whopping 1 success to dodge. So you still get enough to drive the stake into their chest, provided that you can deal damage to them. So by all means, roll that strength. The damage of the weapon or strength +1, whichever is greater.
Okay. Damage of the weapon, 349 was weapons. I didn't write that down. I should have wrote that down. Spear. Damage, strength +2 lethal, so strength +2.
Excuse me.
Plus potence. And that, what's the difficulty on damage rolls?
6.
Oh, ow. Prince. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, just 5. It looked bigger than it was.
All right. The
There were a
prince
lot of
will.
fives in there.
The prince will spend their a blood pool to automatically soak 3 of it. Because once per turn, you can spend a blood to automatically soak your fortitude rating. But they still take, how much did you do? 5?
Yeah.
All right. They only take 2. So it's jammed in their chest, but it's not in their heart.
All right.
Damn.
Close, but no cigar.
I'll look to Darvula, who's near me, and is like, shove it the rest of the way in.
just kick the bottom for me. Excellent. Next up, we
I'll
have
try on my turn.
Lipo. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna hold Luca's hand and do fire voice with him, and we're singing White Woman's Instagram.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Like, what's an Instagram?
That's why they're gonna be so confused.
Why do you speak of a banshee witch? That's probably
So I need to roll wits and empathy, right?
Manipulation.
manipulation, empathy.
Manipulation, empathy.
Oh, Corey, did you roll the net attack successes on top of your damage?
Oh no, I did not.
Always, in
Oh yeah, I
plan.
forgot. How many more would that? It was 4 net successes.
There's 4
Then I
net
got one.
successes to hit. Yep.
You can do that while I roll my dice.
Yeah. That may change
3
how many
more.
people you. Oh, okay. They're staked.
Yay!
Success.
One, two, three. One more dice. So I got 1 8 and 2 10s. So 5 successes, and the rest were not successes.
Excellent. So you are joining into the chorus as well. So they will have to resist both powers, basically one right after the other.
Together, they're stronger.
Except for the prince, who is currently taking a wood enhanced nap. That brings us to our good friends on the other side of this brawl. The gargoyle is going to lunge forward and do their absolute level best to aggressively remove you from the prince. Sorry, I got water in the wrong spot, I think. But I'm experiencing a minor technical difficulty. Give me half a second. I apologize.
Yes.
That's better. Now I have a sheet I can read. Okay. Yeah, they're basically going to try to pull you free. So they're just going to like grab you by your shoulder. Do you have celerity by chance there, Corey?
Nope.
All right, so they just roll to grab.
Yep.
Excellent. So it'll be 1, 2. So they botch. They leap forward toward you. And as they go to grab you, like you just move just the slightest bit, and they like bump into your spear and snap the spear off at the seam of the wound. So like
It's gonna be
Someone
really
will-
hard to unstake them. Yeah.
someone will have to like literally dig that stake out. surgically. And naturally, the Tremere is not happy about this turn of events at all. That gargoyle is going to be punished. But first, they have some of you all to cope with. And their choice for coping is to run. They turn and take off.
No.
They start running away. Full speed, fast as they can. Now, they do not have celerity, but they are moving at a fairly good clip. That brings us to either Irina or Darvula. Do either of you have a preference as to who goes first?
Darula can.
All right. So what is the stat that helps you run fast?
So if you're trying to give chase,
Yeah.
I believe your basic running speed would fall to your I think it's Dex and Athletics. Excuse me.
All right.
I'm just going to see if we have a better option here for chase rules. Yeah, why don't you actually roll a stamina and athletics, and I will have them roll the same.
Okay.
You're taking off
Cool.
from very close to one another.
Because I already spent blood. Stamina. Okay. Oh wow.
Is that a good wow?
Yeah, I got 4 6s and a 10.
Excellent.
Yes.
Sick.
Compared to their one success that they got on that roll, you're doing pretty hot. So they take off running, and you just bound after them and are able to catch up. So if you wanted to attempt to grapple them, I'd allow it at this point.
Yes, I would, please.
Okay, go ahead and give me just a strength brawl. They don't get a dodge effectively.
Too fast.
Okay.
'Cause they
That might be
suck.
less cool. 1 success.
Okay. That's enough to get a hold of them, though. So you have a hold of them. That's the good news. Unfortunately, that's also where the good news ends. That brings us then to Irina. What would you like to do?
Last thing I remember, I was feeding Apollo. Right?
You had fed Apollo some blood, yes. And
Okay.
Apollo's wound is starting to stitch itself back together.
All right. So I will go help Darula. I'm
Darula?
very bad.
Yeah, she's probably like,
yeah.
stake it.
Yeah. So I will attempt to do that.
All right, what would you like to use to stake this Tremere?
Well, I did bring stakes, but I also brought hand axes.
Okay.
I don't know if that's helpful, but I do have stakes.
I mean, if you wanted to try to like dig a hole in their chest first, the hand axe might help, but you could just try a stake.
It's
Alright,
actually
well, then
really hard to stake. Just the heads up.
Staking someone is pretty difficult. Do you want to spend any blood to raise up your dexterity first?
Yes. Yes, I do.
And what generation are you?
Ninth.
Okay, so you can spend 2 a turn,
Okay.
I believe.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay.
So how does that work? Does spending the blood make you add 2 more dice to your pool?
Yep.
Yes, and as long as you stay under your trait maximum, it lasts until the end of the scene. If you go above your trait maximum for your generation, it lasts, I believe, until the end of the turn.
The way that it's written is it's like until you stop spending blood to maintain it.
Right, basically, yeah.
You have to
And
keep
I
spending
just
1
used
blood
the-
a turn to maintain it.
And I just use my blood pool, right?
Correct. And I'm just double checking your gen max rating, because much like my wonderful players, I too have been playing V5 a bit lately, so I'm getting knowledge wrong addition going a little bit extra. So let me make sure I'm telling you the right amount of blood that you can spend. But yes, it would be from your blood pool.
Okay.
At 9th generation, you may spend 2 blood per turn. Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'll do that, and then that adds 2 dice to my pool, right?
Yep.
And you said you wanted me to use my dexterity.
Dexterity plus melee. Yes. Now you're
Well.
very fortunate in that this person is being held still, so you got that going.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see how we do. I got 3 6s.
Excellent. So staking difficulty is 8. No 8s?
Okay. Nope.
All right. You jam the stake forward and they kind of like turn and like they're not able to like wiggle out of the way. So like you make contact, but it's not solid enough to pierce their breastbone. Is pretty hard.
You did my best.
You did. But the bright side is you keep that dex bonus.
Yeah.
And that brings us to Darvula.
I just went.
Oh, that's right. I am ridiculous. I apologize. All right, that brings us back to the top of our order. So, Luca, what would you like to do?
Can I do anything while I'm fire voicing still, or?
Yeah, you can absolutely act. The only thing you can't do is something that requires you to shut your mouth. So, like, you
Okay.
can't obfuscate.
What page is the weapons on again?
Which weapons, like the weapons table?
I took a flail or something.
Oh, yes.
We took a bunch of flails.
Did we? I forget.
A bouquet of flails.
349. 349. It's forever in my head now for some reason.
We've shot in the past. Corey will be sending a bill to Onyx Path Publishing for Corey's therapy.
I told you it was just going to come back to me. I'll be like 349.
They will be thrilled.
It's a morning.
You don't know, man. You weren't there. All right. So yeah, it's on page 340.
It's a morning star, right? So
it was fine.
Yeah, it's a morning star.
Morning star. Okay, I want to hit the nearest enemy with a morning star.
Yes, you do.
Just the nearest person.
Not me, the nearest enemy.
Right. I mean, yeah, just the nearest.
We need to make it specifically for you, Travis.
Physically, not that much of a jerk. Physically nearest person is probably the gargoyle.
Okay. Fuck it. I'll just go hit the gargoyle then. What is 3L?
3 lethal is the damage.
Oh, okay. So I roll my strength, that's it?
No, you roll your dexterity plus melee to hit them. And then they're not able to dodge. So you will add whatever successes you get on that roll to your strength plus 3 and roll that much to see how much lethal damage you do. Make sense?
Yeah.
Wait, one more time. Sorry. Wait, I don't get it. Wait.
You roll your dexterity and melee to see if you hit.
Okay.
Any successes that you get on that, that's difficulty 6. Any successes that you get on that are added as dice to that strength plus 3 damage.
Okay. 1 second. Just rolled the wrong number of dice.
So the better you hit, the more damage you do.
I only got 1 success.
That's all you need because you can't dodge right now.
Okay. And it's a 9. So
That doesn't matter. But so now you'll roll strength plus 4.
okay, gotcha. That's going to be 3 successes.
Excellent. They will spend 1 blood point to ignore that for this turn so they take no damage.
Wait.
Their fortitude is 4. They spend a point of blood to automatically soak 4.
Is it plus 4 like just
No, you roll those dice as well.
okay, so sorry. I got a 8, a 10, and an 8. So that's 3 successes plus 4, right?
No, you roll 4 more dice.
Oh, 4 more dice.
Okay, so maybe.
That's 1 more success.
So it's 4 successes. They spend a point of blood, take no damage.
Okay.
So close.
Close, but not quite.
Damn.
Next up, that brings us to Lucian. What would you like to do? I believe you're either muted or you're being very, very quiet.
I was muted. Sorry. Was that the gargoyle that was by me? Or
Yes.
okay, so
Yeah, the other gargoyle's toast.
uh
The one gargoyle, if I remember correctly, got ripped in half by Apollo.
yeah, so he's super
Yeah.
close to me because of
Yeah, you're all like
yeah.
within feet of one another. Don't anybody botch a die roll over there.
Yeah.
Bad news.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna try to. I'm really hungry. I'm gonna try to eat this gargoyle.
Okay.
A lot of fiber.
I'll let you go straight into a bite because they botched. So effectively, you have them
like
grappled.
we're basically like he tried to grapple me, so I'm gonna try to like.
Yeah. In the immortal words of Judge Mills Lane, I'll allow it.
All right.
Go ahead and roll it's strength and brawl to bite.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Character sheet again. Brawl 4. Strength is
Oh, I lied. It's Dex and brawl.
okay. That's 1 less die.
I apologize for knowledge wrong addition.
How dare.
How dare.
Happens. What's the difficulty?
Your difficulty is 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And you get 1 additional die for the bite maneuver. That's kind of them.
That did nothing for me.
Well, I guess it wasn't that kind then, was it?
No.
All right, so 8, they had no dodge successes. So strength plus 9 aggravated.
I'll spend a blood for keeping my stuff together and 1 for an automatic success on the damage roll from potence. Strength plus 9, you said?
Yep.
Difficulty 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8.
All right, so you do 4 levels of aggravated damage to them as you rip a huge chunk out of their throat. You feel like this horrific grinding as your fangs dig past their stony outer flesh.
Mm-hmm.
But once you're through that, you rip loose, and it's like a layer of stone like this thick, and then just meat like a regular old person. So you just rip that meat open, blood just starts spraying out, and you are free to feed
3, I think, right?
3 per turn, I do believe. But again,
And then they need to make a self-control to avoid the kiss or whatever. But actually, never mind. This is a combat bite.
yeah, this isn't. You're not being sexy here. While I'm double checking that, what would Lipa like to do?
Also flail.
All right, go ahead.
As he's being like
On the same on the gargoyle.
The gargoyle is kind of gone. So, is there anybody else near us that I could maim?
Well, the Tremere is still up.
Let's flail the Tremere. I feel like Luca and I like joined hands and did like one of those like martial arts like cartwheel thingies to get close to the Tremere.
I absolutely love it. So you're like tiptoeing through the fucking tulips, and
singing a golden retriever in a flower crown.
beautiful.
As we sing our flail around.
parkour.
Parkour.
Parkour. Parkour.
All right.
Absolutely.
You could have just sung the "As we swing our flail around" as the next line of that song. It totally would have rhymed.
That's right. You're totally right.
Well, if I had thought of that, I would have.
Yeah. Let's pretend.
I'm not that clever.
All right. So yeah, it would be a dexterity and melee.
I got 110, so that's 2 successes. Right? What's the difficulty? 6? Yeah, so I got a 5, a 1, and a 3.
A 5, a 1, and a 3. The 1 removes the success.
Oh, that's right. Then I'm gonna spend my inspiration, my lucky, to re-roll one of those die.
Oh, I have that too. I forgot about that.
And so you definitely are not going to be spending any inspiration.
Yeah.
That's the wrong ass game, girl.
Yeah, so that's another one. So that's 8. That was another lucky. Cool. And then I roll. So that's 2. Does it hit? 2 successes.
2 successes will hit. Absolutely. So now you'll roll your strength plus 5 dice.
5 dice? Why 5?
Because it's a strength plus 3 weapon, and then you add successes from your hit.
Okay. So strength. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 4 successes.
Excellent. They will. It's just lethal damage, so they will roll their stamina and apply that whopping dot of fortitude they have. So they soak 2 of it, so they take 2 lethal.
Right in the face.
And how hungry are you, Corey?
After I was a little under half when I started feeding on him.
Okay.
If I got 3 blood, which you never confirmed, but if I got 3, then I'm at 10.
I'm still double checking, to be honest with you.
The lowest I've been is 7. I believe it was described in the bite maneuver that you could drink up to 3 per turn, or in the reference page about the kiss. I like just read 3 per turn somewhere.
It says if you take more than 2 per turn, or more than 2, you can harm a human. That's what I saw there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and
in that same paragraph, I believe it says 3, like another halfway down.
So yeah, we'll go with 3 per turn. I just want to see if you are going to frenzy from being hungry when you taste blood. Go ahead and give me a self-control roll, please.
Yeah. Difficulty.
6.
That would be 2.
All right. You're not frenzying now. You remind me you will need to make another check next turn.
Okay.
And that brings us to, so you've clocked the Tremere in the face, and they have taken 2 lethal, but they are still up for sure. That brings us then to them now. So the Tremere, who you're holding on to, correct, Rachel? You have them grappled? Oh, you're muted. That's why I didn't hear you. So.
I'm sorry. Bob was leaving, so I muted myself to say goodbye. Yes, I am with the Tremere.
No worries. They reach up and put a hand on the hand of yours that is holding them.
Blood mages.
And I bet you can guess what's about to happen.
Goddamn blood mage.
You have 4 aggravated damage coming your direction and lose 4 blood.
Oh, shit.
As they light your blood on fire.
What?
This girl is on fire.
And
Katniss Everdeen, the girl on fire.
Shit.
It hurts a lot.
What? You don't say.
You've never
he
quite,
has no fortitude.
Other than a fantasy.
never quite felt pain like this as your blood begins to boil, literally. And that, so you're chewing on the gargoyle. The gargoyle is just going to grab your face like fucking Optimus Prime in Transformers 2. Give me your face.
Oh no.
And they're going to try to remove your face, the flesh of your face from your skull without the benefit of knowing any vicissitude. Would it be fair to say that this counts as a grapple?
Yeah. We were
so.
already grappled, yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3. 3 successes to grab you.
I don't suppose I get a dodge because I used my action.
Yeah, you really have nothing. If you don't have like celerity you can blow for. Yeah, then I have very, very bad news for you. There's not much you can do about it. And they would like to spend a point of blood reflexively to add their potence to the damage on this. So that'll be 3,
Turnabout is fair play.
7, 8. So you're going to take, it's 8. Fortunately, it's only bashing. So
I have an armor of 5. How does that play in?
Oh, you're wearing plate, right?
Yeah. I'm wearing like full knight's like armor.
Yeah. So what happens is they put their hand on your faceplate, and you're thinking to yourself, "I'm fine. I'm in plate mail," and then the plate mail starts rushing in. And you still will need to. So the 5 will just add to your soak.
Okay. So stamina plus 5.
No, you just the 5 will just soak.
All right.
So.
All right. I makes sense. All right. 6d10. Difficulty 6s, then I got 6. Holy
Excellent.
shit.
So, like, it doesn't do any damage. That doesn't mean it's not uncomfortable as fuck and a little terrifying.
Yeah.
As your faceplate starts to like warp. If we were in the modern times, you could use, you have a full set of fingerprints of this gargoyle in your armor now.
The archaeologists are gonna have a blast with that.
Done this.
And that's their turn. So that will bring us now to Darvula, right? Yep. And then Irina. Yeah. So Darvula, what you got?
So because Jess and I are on the same initiative count,
Yes.
I think Irina should go. Because she's like, stake him now.
Oh yeah, I'm still trying to do that.
Okay. Go ahead and give me another Dex plus brawl or Dex plus melee roll rather.
Okay.
Difficulty 8.
Difficulty 8. Well, I got 1-8.
Okay. Do you want to spend any more blood to increase your Dex? Because you can do that reflexively. Even if it goes even if it goes above 5, it will last for the turn, and then you would drop back down.
So
you can also spend willpower.
You can spend 1 willpower for an automatic success.
Okay.
And then you could spend 2 blood to add 2 more dice. And if
then I would have 6 dice.
Right. So you just roll the 2 because you already rolled your ones. And then at the next turn, you can still spend 1 blood to kick it back up to 6 if you want to.
I'm very confused.
So it would bring your score
right.
to 6 until the end of the turn. So you'd roll 2 more dice.
Okay, gotcha.
At the end of the turn, your Dex would go back down to 5. If you spent more blood, it would go back up to 6.
Okay.
Or you could actually take it back up to 7, I think. What's that?
All right. Well, so okay, I'll spend 2 more blood, get the extra 2 dice, so that I'm rolling 6 dice.
Yep. So you've already rolled the 4 that you had.
So I'll just add 2 more.
Yep.
So that brings me a 7, a 2, a 3, an 8, an 8, and a 9.
Okay.
So
that's sufficient.
3 successes, and then I'll spend a willpower to make it 4.
Excellent. And then now you would add all of that. So you take the 4 successes.
Okay.
And you would roll your strength plus 1.
Okay.
For damage. And they will roll their sad stamina and fortitude.
Okay. Well, you said strength?
Yep.
Okay, so 2, 11, a whole 13 points of damage.
Okay. No, I apologize. So you would roll, what did you get on that successes on that? On that last
4 successes.
roll? 4 successes on the last roll? And then you would roll a number of dice equal to your successes when you hit them.
1. Okay, so 4 dice. Got it.
So, right. So 4 more dice then on top of the 4 successes. Make sense?
Okay. All right.
Because your successes from the attack add dice for the damage.
Okay. All right. So that will bring me to, and then I roll that, and then I add that together, and then I add my strength, right?
Right. You take the successes that you rolled from damage this time, and you add the successes you got from attack.
Okay.
You roll those dice, and you add that to the ones you got for damage. So you had 4 for damage right now. You take the 4 successes you got on the attack, you roll that as a dice pool, and that adds to the successes.
So 4 dice.
Plus whatever you already had. Right. And yes, you roll the 4 dice now. We add that to the 4 successes you got in damage before, and we're in good shape.
I am so confused.
Okay. You rolled strength plus melee or dex plus melee to hit.
All right. Okay. So I got 4 successes. So I rolled 4 dice.
Right. So
and that rolled me 30. And then
no.
Right? So
no, that you roll another dice pool like dex For damage.
Correct. I've rolled 4 new dice.
Mm-hmm.
And you got how
For
many
damage.
successes on that? Because those are
the
also
4
rolled as
new ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because those are
then
also
I
rolled as
rolled
successes.
Okay, so 3, a 10, a 7, and a 10.
Okay, so that's 5 successes, right? That was the damage pool of the stake,
Okay.
right? But you also got 4 successes when you hit, right?
Okay.
So you roll 4 more dice because your successes when you hit add to your damage as extra dice. So we've got 5 successes already now. So you'll just roll those 4 more dice, and we count whether or not those are successes.
So I roll
Just 4 dice.
4 more. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I rolled an 8, a 3, an 8, and a 2.
Okay, so you have 6 successes total.
Okay.
Which is enough to stake the Tremere.
Hooray!
Yay! Cool. I did it. I did the thing.
Unfortunately, as you drive this stake into the Tremere's chest, yes, it does damage them, and yes, they are in pain, but you see the stake pierce their chest, you know it was a good solid hit, and then you watch it turn to ash.
As it does.
And the Tremere silently goes, neener, 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 I know the energy. All right. So...
Should have taught it to your adventure buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So you, however,
I did my best. Okay.
You did a very good, solid hit, and then on top of that, you now have like a clear view of their heart because you knocked a hole in their chest. So you got that going for you. So now that brings us to Darvula.
Okay, so was it the stake that crumbled to ash or the Tremere?
The stake.
Okay. This motherfucker.
I know. I know.
All right.
And people wonder why people don't like the Tremere.
Why won't he die?
I think they're pretty neat.
Funny tangent while Darvula is figuring out what they want to do. Literally the first time I ever ran Vampire the Masquerade, we're talking 1993, probably 1994. The first real enemy that anyone fought was a Tremere, and that led to a burning hatred of the Tremere that those players still possess to this day.
No, that checks out.
They're like, you can do what?
That's why I'm playing one early. They look really cool.
Couple questions.
Yes.
Can I assume that if I tried to stake this Tremere, I'd have to risk my own grapple.
No, you can attack someone you've got grappled.
Okay. All right. So I've got like in a headlock with one arm. I'm gonna try and I'm gonna spend two more blood to ramp. The attack is the Dex attack.
It's Dex and melee, yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna spend 2 blood to up my Dex. And I'm going to try and stake it, and I'm spending a willpower on this. Just fuck this guy.
Yeah, for sure.
And I should have my dice roller. Oh, all right, 2 successes.
Excellent. Is that including willpower you spent?
That would be 3 total.
Excellent. That is sufficient to hit. Go ahead and give me that sweet strength plus 4, basically, is what you're rolling for damage.
Okay.
Ooh.
An 8, a 9, a 6, and a 1.
Womp. Womp. Almost. You were so close.
Oh no.
But
Can I assist her? Like,
No, but on the bright side, though, you have been wailing on this poor Tremere, but this Tremere is going to go ahead and spend reflexively 3 blood to heal lethal so they don't go into torpor from you hitting them with the stake.
All right. I don't think I could survive another one of those hits. So I'm going to let my dude go.
All right, you let go of them.
Can I push him at Irina?
You can, yeah. That's a total dick move, but absolutely. You push him toward Arena.
I mean, I'm gonna make it look. I want to try and make it look like he broke free.
Okay.
What's your manipulation plus a subterfuge?
My pool is 8.
What is your perception plus empathy, Arena?
My what plus empathy?
Perception.
Oh no. Oh, 8.
You're pretty sure that she just pushed this Tremere at you.
We can have that conversation later. It's fine.
Oh, we're going to.
All right. This is the third turn of you continually speaking there, Luca. So I assume you're not going to shut your mouth. What would you like to do?
So it's effective, right? Fire voice is effective, right?
Fire voice will basically go into effect when you finish speaking, when you finish this turn.
Okay.
At the end of your turn, it will go into effect.
I'd like to can I Eyes of Chaos to see what's the most strategic way to like take this encounter? Is that a thing you can do?
That's an excellent question. I don't think Eyes of Chaos is quite that literal. But there's one way to find out, and I'm here for it, which is we look at
213.
213. Thank you.
They give examples, and I feel like it's not far off from what they give.
Okay, so you're asking what specifically are you trying to, because I see like what's the worst choice I could make? I assume what's the safest choice I could make? What quality do you want this choice that you're asking about to be?
I guess most I guess what's the safest way of navigating this encounter and still completing that goal, I guess.
Roll perception plus enigmas. Your difficulty for this is going to be 8 because while you're in the middle of it, you don't actually know these people.
Okay. Perception plus what?
Enigmas.
Enigma.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Um, 3 successes.
Okay. You get the overriding sensation that the safest thing you could do right now to still succeed is grab the prince and run.
Okay. I'm gonna beeline to the prince then if I can.
Yeah,
They're staked, right?
over there, and they're staked like on the ground. No one is actively holding them, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, you can just throw them over your shoulder. All right, so that means the gargoyle and the Tremere both have to roll courage at difficulty 8 right now.
But what does the fire voice
Difficulty
do
9
to them now?
It
right?
increases the difficulty again by 2. So they have to roll courage at difficulty 9.
Big. So when my turn comes in, they will automatically fail. Excellent.
Love that.
Not necessarily. The gargoyle is holding, or the Tremere is holding their shit together. Barely, but they are holding their shit together. The gargoyle has a slightly better chance.
Oh.
They're also barely holding their shit together at this point. So, yeah, they both have enough. They made enough on their courage roll to avoid Ratcharek this turn. So that brings us then to Lucian.
One of those L names.
Yeah.
You told me to remind you I needed to make
You absolutely still need to make that self-control roll because you're drinking.
Yeah.
Drinks.
I did not make that self-control roll. Can I spend a willpower?
You can spend a willpower to not frenzy for the turn, yeah. Or to act normally for the turn. You're still frenzied at this point, but you can act normally.
Oh, I still want to drink, though, if I can. Do I need to roll again for that? Or is it already like I can drink from the current?
You're in frenzy now and will remain so until your blood is full.
Okay.
But you can spend willpower to like continue, or you can just not spend willpower and keep drinking. That is also an option.
I feel like I want to try to.
That's going to be your action, right? That's going to be your natural response if you're frenzying from hunger.
Yeah,
is to keep drinking. So you can save the willpower, and spend it reflexively if something happens later in the turn that you feel you need to react to.
I feel like I'm going to spend the willpower anyway, just in case I need to react. Like I want a clear mind, but I'm drinking it.
Okay. All right.
Because I'm definitely hungry. And I'm hoping that it doesn't have much blood left since I've now drank 6.
Well, you can hope. All right, so you're you have now drank 6 blood. That then brings us to Lipa. What you got?
As we're running away with the prince on Lucas's shoulder, I am going to cast. Well, after my fire voice resumes, right?
Yeah, your fire voice resolves, so you can't do anything else. If you still want to keep that fire voice going, you can't do anything else that requires verbalization or that requires you to be quiet.
Yeah, but this is the last turn, right? So this is how it resolves.
At the end of this turn, yes.
Ah, okay. Then that shoots my plan down. I kind of just want to hold an action then. I don't know what to do.
I mean, you can just keep running if you want to. That is valid. Yeah. Like yelling over your shoulder. Like, stay mad.
Basically.
Mad.
Die mad about it. Yeah, all right, fair. So you two are snagging the prince and beating feet the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good. All right, so that will bring us then to our friends. The gargoyle that you are chewing on is still trying to take your face. So they're going to help you because they're very kind by spending three more blood into their strength, or 2 more blood into their strength and 1 blood to activate their potence. Two, 3.
Here's where Travis stops rolling like garbage.
I wish that was the case. It's only 6, so go ahead and roll stamina. You have to soak 1.
which I
Stamina plus fortitude. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So your poor helmet is now like formed to your face. Like you're probably going to need tools to get it off, but you have taken no damage from that yet.
Damn.
And that brings us to our Tremere friend, who is still very, very, very upset and still very, very, very handsy. So they're going to try to grab a hold of you. They're like coming at you, Irina, like arms out, like they're definitely trying to get their hands on you.
No thanks.
Do you haven't acted yet, right? So you can dodge if you'd like, if you want to split your dice pool, or just take a defensive action and just move out of the way. Otherwise, you can hope they don't get a hold of you.
I guess I could just move out of the way.
All right, go ahead and roll dexterity and dodge. They're definitely saying something in Latin as they're coming toward you.
Oh, can I understand it?
Yeah, it sounds like they're saying, I call upon your blood to boil.
Shit.
Bitch, I don't think so.
She's on fire.
Right? Hold on. I'm looking for dodge. I don't see that on my list.
I'm sorry. Yeah, wrong edition. Athletics. My bad.
Cool? I'm not crazy. I love that. I love that for me. Okay, well, I rolled a 9 and a 4.
Okay, so like they grope forward toward you, and like you feel them like nick your nose as they're reaching for you, like they almost got their hands on you, but not enough contact to actually use thaumaturgy on you, which is fortunate because that's never fun. But that does eat your action for the turn. So,
oh no, I'm not. My blood is not on fire. Darn it!
She's a girl, but she's a fire.
What
so
a girl was.
Man, my whole
this
turn
girl's
not on fire.
All right, so Darvula, it is now your action. What would you like to do?
I would like to attack this asshole with my second stake.
Excellent.
And so when you spend blood up to 5,
That stays for the scene.
okay, cool.
It's actually anything up to your normal limit plus 1 stays for the scene. Anything past that goes away 3 turns after you stop spending blood.
Okay. Well, I am shockingly low on blood, so I'm going to refrain this turn. Oh, a 7 and a 10.
Excellent. They have no dodge, so you jam the stake into their back. Roll your strength plus 4.
Oh, 10s are 2s, right?
Yes,
Okay.
because you got your blood pump going on.
In that case, that is 5 successes.
Woo! Yes.
Or 3, which is enough.
Yay!
You, drive the stake in through their back, and they drop to the ground like a sack of potatoes.
See, I knew we could do it working together.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
At that moment, you all notice, well, everyone except for Lipa and Luca, who are running away swiftly, and Zeus, who is following them. You all notice that like it gets brighter out here. Specifically coming from inside town, as you see a mob of about 20 townsfolk like carrying torches coming toward you.
So the prince is
probably not
still staked?
The prince is staked over Lucas. Like you look over and you see Lucas like got the prince. Like imagine if you will, a very quick shaky cam sort of zoom over as you just see like the prince's head bobbing as they like duck into the woods.
In that case, I'm following.
Excellent. You turn on your heel and take off running.
I want that prince.
Excellent. That brings us back to the top of the order. Luca, what would you like to do?
We're just beelining it to our employer, essentially, right?
I mean, that's like a 2-day ride away. There's still the carriage. You can go to the carriage that's like parked up the way. Would be, I guess, the rendezvous point.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna make my way to the carriage then and plop that body in there and get ready to get out of here.
All right. So you're just running for the carriage. Anything special that you're spending for? Anything you're doing? Any celerity? Anything like that? Or
anything that would help.
So you're just. What's your strength?
4.
Okay, so you have no problem carrying the prince. That's no problem. Wonderful. That brings us to Lucy in. See, I got them both in one word. What would you like to do at this point as you see this horde of townsfolk start moving? Actually, you're already in frenzy, so it doesn't matter. Would you like to spend a willpower, or would you like me to tell you what you're doing for the rest of the turn?
I don't know. I think I'm still drinking, right? So let's just go with drinking.
All right, you're slurping. I would like you to make a strength roll for me at difficulty 9, please.
With potence?
You roll the potence dice,
Yeah.
yes, unless you want to spend a blood to have auto successes from it.
2.
Excellent. You feel the beast start to mellow out the instant that you taste essence, the being of this poor tortured creature dancing upon your tongue. The good news is you can learn flight now.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
What road were you on?
Abyss.
Oh, correct me if I'm wrong, but they could give 2 airborne shits about the Diablerie, right?
Nope, they don't give 2 shits.
It's like encouraged. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, this poor gargoyle goes limp and like desiccated in your arms, but doesn't ash. Wasn't old enough. But you sort of just start to come to your senses as the townsfolk are like getting up to where you're at. So that brings us to Lipa. Are you also just booking ass toward the?
I have a couple questions.
I have a couple answers.
What kind of vampire is the prince? Were we supposed to bring them back alive, or could we dispose of them? And those are my 2 first questions, and then I have follow-up questions.
The prince is Ventru. You were told to make them and the Tremere go away. Correct me if I'm misspeaking, but he didn't give a shit what happened to the Ventru. He just wanted to make sure the Tremere was definitely dead.
Yeah. Cool.
And that it was painful. That was the other request that he had. That when you killed that Tremere, you made them suffer.
Yeah. So I'm going to look at Luca and be like, we have to eat this motherfucker. And I'm going to pull them into the... and I'm going to set Silence of Death around us. But we also have Without a Trace. So even if we just have Silence of Death and we're in the woods, nobody can find us because the leaves cover our tracks and shit.
So I have also been wanting to diablerize the prince, and so that is why I am following Luca.
mean, we can
Bunch
split
of
it 3
thirsty
ways.
people.
If you
Oh,
had
we can't.
those.
So y'all just
Can't.
gonna like, so you're all just gonna like eat the prince and not like share.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
That's
sharing
rude.
with each other.
Yeah.
Okay, well, share with the class. Right? If you didn't bring enough for everyone.
We ran away with it. We didn't have to bring enough for everyone if you're eating in the bathroom.
So, I guess the most important question then is, what are you doing about the staked Tremere at your feet?
Eat him too.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, one of you take the Tremere and I get the prince.
No.
Well, like they're gone. They've been running for like 2 turns now. So
We're way ahead of you guys.
Yeah.
so
We bailed.
you can certainly scoop up the prince or scoop up the Tremere and take off that direction if you'd like.
But we will be whining and dining.
But
I will do that.
A
Well,
Dine and
you-
dash, if you will.
as
a
you
family
turn,
that dines together stays.
We dash and dine first.
as you
dash
turn to grab the Tremere off the ground,
DoorDash.
you realize there are at least 20 angry villagers who are all carrying torches, and I would like you to make a courage roll, please.
Oh shit.
All of us.
Well, just at the moment, just Darvula. You'll get yours on your turn. Don't worry.
Oh
3
no.
successes.
All right, you don't Rodshrek, and so like you're like, oh yeah, they have fire, and this one gotta go. Check out that. So you scoop them up, and that then brings us, if I'm not mistaken, that brings us to Irina, right?
Yes.
All right, so you will also need to make a courage roll.
All right. What are our successes?
Actually, your difficulty in that's 5. So if did you get more than 3 on that then, Rachel?
Difficulty is 5.
Yes.
Oh, still 3.
Yeah, because they're not like hitting you with fire; they're just brandishing it. So yeah, difficulty is 5.
I also got 3 successes then.
All right, you can act normally. What would you like to do as you see these townsfolk coming up with flames?
I am gonna be like, hey buddy, talking to Apollo, let's go for a walk.
Apollo steps over and like scoops you up and looks at the townsfolk and goes, "Rah!" and like 6 of his mouths scream at them. And about half of them like back up and sort of part.
Shit themselves, yes.
Yeah, they're not fucking with that. But one steps up kind of like from the back of the group, and they don't have a torch. They're just carrying a cross in one hand and what appears to be a length of chain with spikes on it in the other.
Am I worried about that? Should I be worried about that?
Why don't you go ahead and give me let's do a perception.
Is that like a knowledge check? Okay, perception.
Let's do perception and theology.
Okay. 4, 4, 8, and a 10.
I'll allow it. He's wearing a crest on his like lapel of his jacket that indicates to you that he is a member of a particular Orthodox church organization known as the House Le Belmont.
Okay. Does he like? Did you say Delmont?
Belmont.
Belmont, because if you were like Delmont, I was like, and he cans vegetables or like. Okay, but like, I mean,
They're
do
known.
the chains and
They're basically
things
known
like
as
that.
monster hunters.
Oh, got you. Okay, well, I'm just gonna give him like a. I don't think, and then I'm just gonna like, come on, Apollo.
Like riding on Apollo's shoulder, like
Yeah, like, like I don't. No.
For a second,
No
I forgot
thanks.
that your character looks like she's 13.
She does. Yeah,
That's
she's
incredible. This is a great
yeah.
visual.
Yeah. Well,
right.
she's gonna. I'm trying to think of a really good like. Oh, I'm gonna do the John Cena like you can't see me.
And you wave your hand in your face and ride the war ghoul's shoulder away.
Yeah, like
from
they
the
don't
foe.
get it, but people in the future will get it. They'll think it's
Right.
hilarious.
You might not understand, but your kids are gonna love it. So you Marty McFly your way out of there on the shoulder of a giant war ghoul and start heading that way. Now Apollo is not particularly quick under the best of circumstances, but he's certainly not quick right now because he is still largely split in the middle.
Yeah, he super is. Yeah.
So you're going to be bringing up the rear, no doubt, except for the fact that you did totally abandon your buddy that's sitting there having some soul tartare.
I don't know him well enough, okay? I don't know them well enough.
So as you are coming to your senses, I want you to go ahead and roll courage for me, if you don't mind, Corey. And then probably like Dex Athletics.
I am wearing Inquisitor's armor, just remember that. And I'll spend a willpower anyway, because, it's courage rolls or something.
For an additional success, you mean?
Yeah.
You do know that means that if you don't make it, you also can't spend a willpower to act normally this turn, right?
Yes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What was the difficulty?
5.
7 successes.
Excellent. He steps forward. Actually, I won't have you make a.
Wait, hold on. That is not right. Sorry. That was a courage check.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just fixed that. 3 successes. 4 successes with willpower.
Okay.
So I rolled too many dice when I hit roll.
You do not frenzy. You don't go into rush.
Is this from the fire scare?
From the fire scare, right?
Yeah.
The hunter that is among the townsfolk does step forward and brandish their cross at you.
Okay.
What is your current willpower?
6.
Excellent. They step forward, brandish their cross, and say, "Creature of darkness, I command you, leave this village now." And that would be 3 successes on their true faith roll.
Holy shit.
You're like, yeah, cool, bye.
Yeah. You must run an existential terror of the faithful for the next 3 turns. So, just to have a visual, we have a child riding on the shoulder of a bisected war ghoul.
Yep.
Bringing up the rear of this party, followed by a old clan Zamis who is in like finery, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like you're like in your Sunday best dress with an unconscious.
Yes, Yeah, it all looks a little worn, but yes, dressed very nicely.
Right. So in this worn but very, very prim, proper sort of high class garb, with an unconscious person who has a length of wood sticking out of their back over your shoulder. As you're running up ahead, there are two more people who are running, like playing tug of war with another unconscious body as they're ducking into the trees. And you all just see this person in full plate mail armor with a handprint indent on the face come running past all of you. like just zipping.
Yeah.
It's not my fastest mode of travel, though.
It's not, but you don't have you
Yeah,
probably
I
don't
don't-
have your shit together enough to jump through the shadows, to be honest with you.
Yep.
So yeah, you see Lucian just barrel right by everybody. Does that change anyone's course of action?
I mean,
Right.
I'm still riding Apollo in that general direction.
Right on.
I
so the
have a meta question, though.
Sure.
I was
Go ahead.
trying to keep track of how many people we had killed and how many we were supposed to kill. I feel like we're short one Tremere.
You may be.
I just want to double check that thought.
You were told you've not seen a second Tremere.
But we were
But
told
you
there
were
would be
told
two.
there were two.
Yeah.
Yep. So y'all.
I mean, we'll get back and the Belknops probably got him.
2 out of 3 is not bad, okay? 2 out of 3, that's still really good. That's 66%, all right?
So the twins fall into the woods and throw up silence of death.
Mhm.
You do not hear the twins, but you clearly see them fall into the woods and throw up. And then suddenly it's very quiet over there. Also, their ability to hide is somewhat interfered with by the giant war ghoul who is stomping next to them. So as Zeus kind of just sets up shop where they went and looks very confused as the several faces are kind of all looking in different directions around the woods trying to see where they went. Are you just like running past Zeus into the stack of woods? I don't understand how our Vampire Dark Ages game turned into an episode of fucking What We Do in Shadows.
Travis,
Isn't that what always happens,
are you not?
though?
Are you not?
And
used
we're
to
not
this
even
by
done,
now?
Travis. Vixen's
Are you not entertained?
This is what happens every time.
But guys, we're not done.
And
Still more chaos to be had.
so and let me remind you all that Vampire Dark Ages, you can have this kind of fun too with Vampire Dark Ages, which the deluxe version is on sale at Indie Press Revolution.
It's like every time Travis tries to make like a deep dark serious, we just fuck it up.
We don't do that.
We're gonna have fun our
We-
way.
We don't do serious.
We're here for the memes.
Yeah.
So seeing this ahead of you, Darvula, are you going to dive into the woods as well, or are you going to continue on toward the carriage?
I'm like, drink as we're running with the prince.
Drinks. Drinks. Shots.
Okay.
Shots. Shots.
Just
No,
mangling
we'll let
this
them get
prince.
away. It's not worth the fight. I just checked my I'm on Road to Kings, so I should probably not be dealing.
For the visual, me and Lipa are eating this prince as if it was like a lobster or like a crab leg thing. You know, we're just tearing on a piece.
You're not supposed to chew when you're committing diablerie.
According to you.
Blood is blood.
So Darvula continues on and is the second one to get into the carriage. As you regain your wits, Lucy, sitting in the carriage, like backed against the furthest wall, the furthest interior wall of the carriage from the village, with the carriage driver like turned around in the front seat, like looking at you. You okay?
With my strength of 6, I want to like pull the fucking mask off. Like
All right, you go.
Strangely, I think so.
Yeah.
Very good. You come dashing in, Darvula, with the diving into the side.
I'll need a new helmet, but
the stake kind of bounces a little bit when Darvula lands, but doesn't fall free. The carriage driver does a quick head count. We're missing a few. You just see a tentacle enter the side with like a 12-year-old sitting on it. And she just gets placed on the seat and the tentacle pulls up.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, we can leave the Malkavians behind.
Very well. He's
They're low clan.
I mean,
no one cares.
should we? They've got the prince.
He stops and says,
The prince isn't going to be the prince for very long.
Okay.
"What is my orders, ma'am?"
I look around confused.
Well, we should probably. Would you be able to dispose of this? I point to the stake Tremere.
"Oh, me? You shouldn't have." And he pulls out a silverware roll.
Aww.
Yeah.
And like daintily unrolls it and pulls out there's like a escargot fork and a corkscrew.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Okay, now who's what we do with the shadows?
And
Oh no.
he leans in and whispers into this Tremere's ear, "My sire was a friend of Saulat's, you bitch. I hope you can feel it." And he starts like pulling their eye out.
That's fair. No, that cuts out.
It's probably the same texture as this cargo.
So about 20 minutes later, as the pair of you have discovered that if you chew on a vampire in torpor long enough, they just turn to ash in your mouth. You come walking back up to stumbling back up to the carriage, spitting.
We don't though.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't though. We're going home.
Oh, you're just leaving? Just
We don't give a shit about any of this.
That's fair.
We just wanted chaos, and we're gonna dip after.
So once you finish watching this Nosferatu torture the Tremere for probably about 20-30 minutes.
A little too long.
He He doesn't even drain it. He just like picks at them until they turn to ash.
That's beautiful.
And says, "Thank you. That was very
As long
cathartic."
as someone else has to take the humanity hit.
Bold of you
That's
to assume
fair.
that Nosferatu is on humanity.
Just as long as I didn't have to.
That's fair enough. So yeah, he writes himself in the seat and says, "I believe the master will be quite pleased with your performance." And you start riding back into town.
Back into town or back towards,
Into your town, not Brasov.
back
You're
towards
probably
the
never going.
Shire?
Probably never going back to Brasov.
Yeah, got you.
And I think that's where we'll end our tale of this bloody revolt. But before we do,
It sure got bloody.
since we abandoned all pretense of seriousness, I would like to give each of you an opportunity to give me your fast times at Ridgemont High freeze frame of what happens to your character going forward. So let's start with the twins. As the twins are running out of the woods, headed back to wherever home is for them, we have a freeze frame. So what does the little blue text at the bottom of the screen say?
Like mid-air, high five, also covered in blood, and it's just like the twins just went on to become like mass serial killers in the surrounding area.
Jack the Ripper.
Yeah,
Later became Jack the Ripper.
they both just are.
Excellent. What is Darvula's as Darvula is sort of bouncing gently in the back of the carriage? What is Darvula's fast times at Ridgemont High freeze frame?
So she's gonna go to Radu and get Radu to change her face a little bit. Because it seems like he's one of those Shimise.
He is one of
And
those.
so once she is no longer recognizable, she's going back to the city and declaring praxis because there's a power vacuum. Let's go fill it.
Love it.
She remains the Prince of Brasov until 1807, when she is forced to evacuate because of a fire.
That's good. She probably never joins the Sabbat. She's just like, what the fuck did the clan turn into?
You were all nice before. Excellent. What is Irina's fast times at Ridgemont High freeze frame? I see it being like the shot of like her being inserted into the back of the carriage on the tentacle.
No, I definitely take Zeus and Apollo with me and I befriend all of the monsters. And eventually I die petting something I shouldn't be.
That makes absolute context sense for the character. And last but most certainly not least, what is Lucian's freeze frame? I'm picturing like holding the mask like up in front of your face, like trying
I feel like something about stepping into shadows and never returning one day.
Just when the Inquisition started, Lucy had enough and stepped into this never to be seen again.
Yeah.
We just don't really know about them.
Rumors abound that they joined the Black Hand and opened the first Starbucks in Enoch.
Yeah.
And that is where we will wrap this. I'm sorry.
Oh, this is great.
Thank you so much for joining us, all of the audience. Thank you so much for being here. I would like to remind everyone once again, the reason for the season, we do have for a few more days until the 28th, I believe at 8 p.m. Pacific. The Dog Days of Summer sale is on over at Indie Press Revolution. You can get the deluxe leather-bound, beautiful Dark Ages, the awesome print version that you should go pick up. It's 40% off. If you look at the deals and specials at Indie Press Revolution, you can also see, look how pretty that is. They have a number of other books on sale. Lore of the Clans. There's a bunch of Chronicles of Darkness stuff. There's some Scion. There's some Scarred Lands. Please go pick those things up. Get yourself some books, 40% off. It's a great deal. Before we let the channel return to something resembling normalcy, I would like to let you all know that we are taking a brief hiatus, but we'll be returning soon for season 2 of Scarred Lands, Sins of Shelzar, in which we will officially be beginning Dead Man's Rust. So I would love to see you there for that. That'll be same time, same channels, but we will be playing Scarred Lands. I'm not going to say it's more serious, but it's a different tone, I suppose.
Hey, we call ourselves the Murder Hobos, all right?
I mean, that's true. You picked that name.
Actually really serious on that game. We've gotten heavy.
Too serious.
So, yeah, stuff does get a little heavy. We've had some players or some character trauma that we've experienced. I don't think we've ever delved into like player trauma, but we've delved quite a bit into character trauma. It's a good time. We laugh, we cry.
Great time with trauma.
We mourn our lost marriages. Fun stuff. But yeah, we'll be back here like 3 weeks-ish. Watch the Monday meeting notes. We'll be on the schedule. And then let's go ahead and do our outros. And I would like to start things off, if you don't mind, with Lucy/Lucian. Please tell us who you are, what you do, your pronouns, who you've been playing, their pronouns, and where we can find you on the interwebs.
Hey, I'm Corey Frang, aka Narf on the internet, on Twitch and Twitter, they, them. And I was playing Lucian, they, any pronoun. I also do some streaming over on Vorpal Tales. We're doing I think we just did our last episode of, that was the last episode on Friday, right? I forget what's coming next. Anyway, Fridays and Sundays.
We're gonna do Black Void starting on Friday. Should
all
be
right,
fun.
cool. And yep, and I also work on a game called Caves of Cud, which is available on Steam and itch.io, and we're actually just gonna be releasing some new beta content very soon, probably this weekend, maybe next. That I've been doing a lot of work on, so it'd be fun to have people check out character creation in specific. Even if you don't play the game, just make a character.
Please do, and then if let Corey know
complain
how awesome
to me
that
if
turned
it
out.
sucks, or
Right, yeah. Exactly. Beautiful, and thank you again so much for being here and for engaging in the fuckery. It's appreciated. Next up, that brings us to Irina. Please tell us who you are, what you do, who you're playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, where we can find you on the internet.
Hello, I am Jessa. She, her pronouns. I played Irina, also she, her pronouns. I am a freelance editor. Why does No Man's Rust sound so familiar? Did I edit that one?
Dead Man's Rust.
No, no.
Dead Man's Rust?
Dead Man's Rust. Did I edit that one? I don't remember.
I think that was the one I was working on for release while we were getting finished on the one you edited. That one you edited was Vengeance to the Shunned. But yes.
You can just find me. I am on Facebook and Instagram at Ever After Editing. Yeah, that's all I got.
Excellent, and thank you so much for being here, for being part of the fun times, and for bringing so much light and life to the party. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Happy to have you anytime. And next up, we've got Luca. Please give us your pertinent details.
That was Luca, right? Not Lipa. Last time we had a thing.
That was Luca, not Lipa.
Hey guys, I'm Mike Newton. He, him. I was playing Luca, also he, him. I mostly just binge TV shows these days, but sometimes I've been known to make a comic book here or two or there. And you can follow me at Mike_Mutant on Instagram to get updates whenever that comes out.
Much love. Please do follow Mike's art. Mike and Milena, who I'm about to pass it off to, are responsible for this lovely drawing of me that's covered by my chair. I tried to get out of the way.
It's Queen.
Yes, follow Mike and support everything that he does because he's an amazing artist. And speaking of amazing artists,
So talented.
Yeah. And speaking of amazing artists, I don't have my sticker from our Friday night V5 game, which is probably a good idea for me to not show on this actually. But if you could, please go ahead and tell us all of your pertinent details, Milena.
Got my sticker.
Hi guys, I'm Milena. I'm playing Lipa, she, her, and I'm also she, her in real life. And I am a comic book artist who just plays Animal Crossing. And I illustrate sometimes. I enjoy illustrating the most when I'm illustrating with my friends, especially Mike. And yeah, that's me. Follow me on social media, Milena Deneno, everywhere, or check out my Patreon because I don't think I'm coming back to social media after my break. So, but I will continue posting on Patreon. So I'll make posts for free. So you don't even have to give me money. You just have to see me there. So do it.
Sweet. Yeah. Go patreon.com/Milena Deneno as it is spelled under her lovely, lovely face. And last but most certainly not least, that brings us to Darvula. I would like to commend you for keeping your shit together the longest out of any of us.
Thanks.
That's not fair. I didn't know we were being judged.
I didn't know we had style points.
I
serious. Okay.
I long ago abandoned judging you, Milena. I promise. If you could please give us your pertinent details, Darvula.
Hello, my name is Rachel, she, her. I'm still on fires pretty much everywhere. As far as when you can see me next, I will be back here tomorrow, starting the 6th and final season of The Last Fairy Tale, a Changeling Chronicle. So that should be a lot of fun. And then Friday and Tuesdays, I am playing of Vorpal Tales, and Sundays, I am over there running a Vampire the Masquerade Sabbat game. That should be a lot of fun. And then tomorrow on my personal Twitch channel, also still on fires, I'm going to start streaming Dragon Age Origins because that's what my audience voted for. So all of that should be good fun. And I talk about what I'm up to on my Twitter. So come follow me on Twitter.
Please do that. And I would like to commend you because unless my memory is completely failing, you now have the longest running actual play on the Onyx Path channel. So congratulations.
Oh, it's probably only 6 more weeks.
So yeah, hop on tomorrow night. It's 9:30 Eastern. Check out a very cool Changeling 20th anniversary game. And I guess that leaves me, right? I have been Travis Legge. My pronouns are he, him, and I have zero objection to the singular they in reference to me. When I'm not doing this, I run games at Plastic Age Plays on Twitch, and I write on occasion, maybe develop a book or two. I've done a little bit of work on that regard. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Travis Legge, as it is spelled beneath my hairy chin. And I just want to take this opportunity one last time to thank you all for being here, to remind you that if you have not yet done so, to please follow, subscribe, share these videos if you're watching, no matter what platform you're watching it on. It does help us keep the lights on, and it helps other people learn about our games. If you've not yet done so, please be sure to head over to Indie Press Revolution, pick up some game books and some dice, 40% off, and get your shot. If you've not yet gotten vaccinated, please get vaccinated, whether you're doing it for your own well-being, for the well-being of an immunocompromised person you love, or a child you know. You know, I mean, kids can't get vaccinated. You can. Go get your shot. If you're a kid and you're watching this, stop. We have the adult filter on for a reason. And yeah, take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you again soon.